Hello, good morning. Hospital nurses in England should not have to look after more than 8 patients at the same time, according to new draft recommendations from the health watchdog NICE. The body which sets standards of care in the NHS suggests that patient safety could be put at risk if nurses' workloads exceed that number. Well, let's get more now from Ben Chapman at Westminster. Ben, will these guidelines make any difference?
Well, for the moment they are just draft guidelines, but they will, I think, put pressure on ministers for the first time to adopt minimum standards of staffing in the NHS. The watchdog itself says they wouldn't be hard and fast rules. Hospitals would still be able to vary the numbers depending on patient need, but they would have to justify if a situation arose where nurses were looking after more than 8 patients each at any one time. Now, this has come about after the scandal at Stafford Hospital. A public inquiry found that patients had suffered and died as a direct result of understaffing. Now, opponents of the government, critics say that patients are being put at risk as a result of the cost-cutting pressures being put on hospital trusts. The Royal College of Nursing says we are 20,000 nurses short in the NHS. It's welcomed today's recommendations, but says 1 to 8 should be regarded only as a bare minimum.
1 in 8 is a broad benchmark that we know if you go over that you have problems. However, there are many clinical settings where you will need levels of 1 to 1, 1 to 2, neonatal units, intensive care units, coronary care units. So don't get caught up with the 1 to 8 because that's going to lead you down the wrong path.
Well, the government now needs to decide whether to accept these recommendations. The Department of Health says there are already 5,000 more nurses working in the NHS now than in 2010. But up to now, ministers have been resistant to minimum staffing levels, which in the short term at least would be very costly.
Ben, thank you. The United Nations has demanded the immediate and unconditional release of nearly 300 Nigerian schoolgirls kidnapped by an Islamist militant group. The UN Security Council is considering taking what it called appropriate measures against Boko Haram, the extremist group which carried out the mass abduction more than 3 weeks ago. And US First Lady Michelle Obama has used her husband's weekly presidential address to condemn the kidnappings.
This unconscionable act was committed by a terrorist group determined to keep these girls from getting an education. Grown men attempting to snuff out the aspirations of young girls. And I want you to know that Barack has directed our government to do everything possible to support the Nigerian government's efforts to find these girls and bring them home.
Military police are continuing to investigate pictures which appear to show at least one UK serviceman posing next to a dead Taliban fighter. The photographs, which were leaked online, were taken after insurgents attacked Camp Bastion in Afghanistan in September 2012. 2 members of the RAF regiment have been withdrawn from frontline service. The Ministry of Defence said it was treating the incident extremely seriously. The boss of Pfizer, the giant American drug company aiming to take over AstraZeneca, said the deal would be a win-win situation. In a video released on the company's website, he defended the proposed £63 billion takeover. There are fears the deal could threaten thousands of British jobs and undermine the UK's science base.
When you look at this combination, it really meets the scientific needs. It meets needs of efficiency. It meets needs of strengthening our balance sheet and strengthening our fiscal position. And it allows AZ shareholders to, number one, get an immediate benefit from the cash that we would pay them. It allows them to participate in a very strong combined company with great cash flows and great portfolio.
And finally, for the first time in 17 years, Britain may be in with a shot at winning the Eurovision Song Contest tonight. Molly Smitten-Downs is 9 to 1 to win with her self-penned track Children of the Universe. However, she faces tough competition from Austria from the so-called bearded lady, drag act Conchita Wurst, a firm favourite with the audience. And that's it. Chris Shipp will be here with all the day's news and sport at 5:45. Until then, enjoy your afternoon. Bye-bye.
Preparing the nation every day. ITV National Weather, sponsored by Vitabiotics Vitamins.
Hello and a very good morning to you. So many of us got off to a miserable start to the day, but the good news is that band of rain has now cleared out of the way, but the bad news for the rest of the weekend, it's staying unsettled. Further spells of rain, it will be rather windy and feeling quite chilly too. So for this afternoon, there will be showers or longer spells of rain. Now some of that rain could be quite heavy, especially into parts of Scotland, so there is the risk of localised flooding, and we've got a very strong breeze today, especially down towards the southwest. It could gust up to 60 miles per hour. In between all of that, it's a mixture of sunny spells and scattered showers. We're looking at a top temperature of 18 degrees in the capital, but the breeze will take the edge off the temperatures. If you are heading out tonight, take a brolly. Further outbreaks of rain to come. See you later. Bye-bye.
ITV National Weather, sponsored by Vitabiotics Vitamins.